It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. We're also live on Facebook and on YouTube. And once a month, we like to speak with the mayor of the city of Erie, Joe Schember, and he's with us today. Mayor, good to see you, sir. Appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thanks much for having me.
All righty. So it's been quite a month for you. How you doing?
I've been doing well, still holding up well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little difficult to lose. It was so close. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But all my family was home helping me, and they started to cry. They all started to cry around midnight on that evening when we found out the final numbers. And I didn't cry at all. I just tried to get everybody else to settle down. I was depressed a little bit that evening.
Sure.
But I got home, got about 6 hours sleep because I didn't get home till about 1 a.m. But
Right.
6 hours sleep, got up, and I felt I was transformed the next morning. I felt much better. I wanted to do good things. I knew I still had over 7 months.
I was going to say, you're the mayor until January,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I do plan to whoever's elected to succeed me. I'd like to meet with them after they're elected. So give us November and December to meet, and anything I can help them with, I want to do that.
The when you consider the complexity of the city and all of the things that you have to deal with, is there just a twinge of relief?
There's no twinge of relief to it, to be honest.
All
to
right.
me, I love what I'm doing. I work hard.
Yeah.
My wife gets mad at me about once a week because I'm not home enough,
Right.
but I'm just so busy doing this, and I'm just totally committed to it. And I can say I've never been worried about anything. Sometimes people have told me things they probably shouldn't say.
Yeah.
But I just tell them, hey, maybe you shouldn't have said that, and let's move on to something else.
Right, right.
I try not to. I try not to ever have that inside come out.
Right.
And I do love what I'm doing.
Well, and to everyone appreciates and respects you and appreciates your service, because again, this is something that you didn't have to do. You were a highly successful banker, but here we are, almost 8 years into service.
Yes.
And there's just a lot of appreciation that you deserve.
Thank you very much
for bringing a new spirit to our community.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, but again, this is not goodbyes yet. We got a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Let's put some headphones on and let's grab our first phone call of the conversation here. Hi, caller. You're live with Mayor Joe Schember on the Joel Natale Show. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm just calling. I was probably going to try to be anonymous here. I don't even know if the mayor can help with this at all. I was just going to ask about the Northeast Marina and the Pennsylvania Fish Commission and what's going on with that. If you guys knew anything, maybe you guys even covered it. I just first time caller here.
I
Sorry
appreciate
about that.
no problem. I appreciate you checking in. The mayor, that would be a little bit out of the mayor's jurisdiction there, but we will chase that down for you. But thanks for the call, and we'll be able to cover that
thank
later.
you.
Thanks so much. Bye bye. They had a full house when they were having their meeting about the marina out in Northeast. I mean, there's just different things, different neighborhoods, different folks here.
Yes.
Let's jump in on code enforcement, because that's a hot topic around here.
Yes.
And tell us about your strategy and what have you been finding out?
Well, we've done a lot of sweeps throughout Erie for junks and debris, and we've been astoundingly successful in cleaning up many problem
So who's
areas.
in on those? Who's in on those jobs? Is that just the code enforcement, or is Public Works coming along with trucks? I mean, how does that all work?
Yeah. Well, the first thing we do is we go. Erie's divided into 8 zones. We've been in 5 of them so far, and what we do is we go and we look for things that shouldn't be there on the street, either on the street or on the grass, and we talk to those people then, and we tell them, hey, you shouldn't have done this. This needs to be cleaned up. We give them 14 days then, or 2 weeks, to get it cleaned up, and if they're successful, that's fine. And so far, we've found 187 violations as in the first 5 areas we've been in. We still have 3 more to do, and only 2 of those properties so far have we sent crews in to clean it up, and they'll get charged for that.
Yeah, it's like over $1,000 charge, right?
Oh yeah, it's like $1,200, something like that.
Yeah,
it's a little over $1,000, and We may have a couple more. However, we're still negotiating with a couple people to try to get them to get rid of it, so they don't have to pay us to get rid of it.
And what is it? Is it because the question comes up a lot is we have this housing inspection program when you are a renter, right?
Yes.
BIU goes through, inspects these apartments every other year, right?
Yes.
This is all from an ordinance from city council from years and years. That doesn't include owner occupied residences.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you might have a rental house that is up to spec, but the person living right next door that owns their house, it's kind of falling apart. And, is that where the code enforcement really has to come into play, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that around Erie. We've been trying to work on that, and we typically go after that areas at a time.
Okay.
And we've had some success, but there's still a lot of areas we still need to do that in, and we will continue to do that.
So this is focusing on trash.
This is mainly trash that's put out.
But not necessarily the blight. That's kind of like the bigger issue, isn't it?
That's right. If there's problems with the windows in a house or the door or the stairways, that's a different problem, not similar to this one I'm talking about now.
Yeah. And so you've only had to send out crews to actually do cleanups a couple times.
Twice
That's
so
it.
far. And again, that's out of the 187 that we've talked to. The vast majority of them have cleaned up themselves. And I can tell you, so far in this year, since January 1st of this year, we've had 667 violations of junk and debris. And at the same time last year, we were up to 236.
Okay.
So it's almost triple what it was last year.
I mean, there were some folks that didn't think we were doing any of ticketing last year.
Right.
So
that's right.
That's a pretty good jump.
Yes.
So what do you think that we've learned here? Because there's that whole concept, Mayor, of the broken window theory.
Yes.
Is that if you can keep the small things tidied up, you don't end up having big things, and
It does make a big difference. I mean, in my personal experience of my own house, I could see that's true as there as well.
Yeah.
And when I can keep things up, everything looks better. When I start letting things go, everything looks worse, and it's a problem to live in that. So we're pretty pleased with how we've moved forward. So far this year, we found 2,160 code violations that occurred. And in the first 6 months of last year, we've only had 1,210. So I think we were just looking more, finding more stuff, trying to get it corrected.
Did you have to beef up the personnel too?
We did not add to the personnel.
You did not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're doing a very, very great job. I'm very pleased with that.
Because you have quite a few code enforcement officers now.
We do.
It's like, what is it, 6 or 8 or something like that?
I think it's around 6.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
And then they will get help from Public Works if there's big stuff, or how do
if there's stuff that they won't get rid of, we have to go in and rid of it. And they'll arrange for that. And again, the client gets charged for that.
But there also is this concept that I think you're still doing of large item pickup, right? We're still doing that program.
That's right. All I have to tell us in advance, schedule it.
Yeah.
Large items, just schedule it in advance. I think you can put like 2 to 3 at a time. So if you have more than that, you just
I've gotten rid of a couch. You can schedule it like a week in advance.
Yes.
And it comes on your night.
That's correct.
I tell you what. And thank God that, like, when I put the couch out, they didn't tear it up to get the wire. It's always such a pain. Well, have you ever seen that where people will put stuff out and they just want that wire?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I have heard of it.
I think this is an interesting statistic here that you did 79 demolitions. So that's actual structures going down for blight.
That's correct.
That was in all of 2024. Already you're at 86, and you're only half of the year in.
That's right. We are trying to move forward on making Erie better for everyone around.
Where's the money come from for that blight abatement? Are we using the land bank? Are we using
I think
what is the Erie Redevelopment Authority, the city redevelopment authority?
I think it's out of our general budget.
You guys are paying for that.
That's right. I believe so. Yes.
Well, the taxpayers are. Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yes.
So obviously we're turning the flywheel a little bit on this whole thing.
Absolutely,
right?
and I'm proud we're doing that, and we're trying to make Erie a better place for everybody to live in.
Yeah. And again, I've had the folks from East Side Renaissance on the air and different neighborhoods and things.
Okay.
And this is the key thing here, right? Is in order to make these neighborhoods turn around, you've got to have an incentive for the good actors to do good.
Absolutely.
Because if the bad actors win,
that's right. It's just making the neighborhood worse and the whole area worse.
Yeah. And like you've told me, it doesn't matter if you're on lower Wallace and 6th or if you're on 6th and Kakwa.
Yeah.
If you have blight, it's a problem.
Absolutely. No matter where you live, any blight is a big problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're talking to Mayor Joe Schember here. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about fun in the summer here with Gabi Watson, who is going to tell us all about Celebrate Erie. Stay with us. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show here. We're going to welcome a bright star here in the Erie Luminance, and that is Gabi Watson. She is the event manager for the city of Erie. Also, Gabi, are you kind of running Cafe these days too?
Yeah, so I am the executive director. I'm not the president or anything. There's a whole other team and a board, but I'm the executive director for Cafe. So.
Fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We, of course, have known you since you were a wee one. And again, you had the big announcement today for Celebrate Erie. So talk about that. Why don't we, before we get to Celebrate Erie, why don't we talk about some of the other events that make up the summer activities for the city? Go ahead.
Yeah, so coming up soon on July 3rd, we have Lights Over Lake Erie. It's our big fireworks spectacle at the Bicentennial Tower. I'm so excited. Anywhere you can see the tower, you can see these fireworks. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to bring the community together. So we're so excited for that. We also have the 814 concert series and the Sounds of Summer. 814 is we go to a bunch of local parks. We bring food trucks. We bring live entertainment to a bunch of neighborhoods, and we have community resource tables. And then the Sounds of Summer is around different senior living communities, and we're bringing music, getting them out into some fresh air to enjoy some good music. So
like the Sounds of Summer, the ones for the seniors, that's kind of like Gem City Band and things like that, right?
Yep.
The kind of the older folks. And then I think either the Groove or the Breeze Band came to my neighborhood up at Baker Field, and it just filled the neighborhood with music. It was really something else,
Catch us at Bakerfield again. We're very excited. That's our first one, our debut. So
right. And it basically the band shell goes around, the mobile band shell or whatever.
They bring in the bandwagon, and we encourage the entire neighborhood and community to show up and support these musical artists. So it fills up quick. It's really fun. It's really great way to get some free music. So
yeah, just bring your lawn chair and go. All right, so let's get to the big event, and that is August 15th, 16th, and 17th. Celebrate Erie. Talk about that.
So we are so excited. I'm just so excited and relieved that the announcement's finally out. We're switching things up this year. On Friday, we're going to feature some country music. Saturday, so on Friday, we have Russell Dickerson, who, if you have any sort of social media, he is vibrant. He is high, energetic. It is going to be such a good show. And then we have Gym Class Heroes on Saturday. So we're so excited to take it back to the 2010s and see some of those old classics. They're like a staple in any upbeat playlist.
Gym Class Heroes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool. Might be a little bit, little young for me, Mayor, but that's okay.
That's okay. It's all good. On
that's
Sunday, we're going to do the Bob Dylan tribute band and the Beatles. So now we're bringing it back.
Right.
To the
They're
classics,
bringing it back to the classics. That's awesome.
Good for everyone.
Talk about your sponsors and, because I think it's hugely important because it takes a lot to put these
a village,
to put these things on, right?
So we have our main stage sponsor as Highmark Allegheny Health Network. We're incredibly grateful for them. We have a bunch of different sponsors ranging at different involvement levels. We have Logistics Plus, we have First National Bank, we have Marquette, Erie Insurance, a bunch of Erie staples all coming together to build this community building event. So we have so many sponsors. We're always looking for more, but it really takes a village to bring this festival together. So
how does it work for Celebrate Erie? Is it food trucks or is it going to be like sometimes like the Taste of Erie where they actually have booths in West Perry Square? How does that work?
Yeah, so this year I'm trying to make it as dietary restriction friendly as possible. So we're bringing in more food than we ever had. So we're going to have a mix of food trucks. We're going to have a mix of Erie businesses with tents. So there's going to be desserts. There's going to be gluten-free. There's going to be everything. So most food we've had in a really long time.
Really?
So, oh, yeah.
And then you're programming Perry Square stage pretty much all day, every day for the weekend?
For those that can't stand physically in the audience for the main stage, it's going to be broadcasted on the Perry Square screen. So it's good for parents that want to stay with their kids that don't want to get into it and want to have like a little meal. The beer garden's over in that area. So if you're having a beer, you can watch it from the comfort of the beer garden. Like it's a really central location. It's good for in case you get anxious about crowds. Like it's a really good deterrent for those kind of things. It's really helpful.
Talk about your approach to security. Obviously, that's a big topic this week with the movie going south. So, what is your approach for Celebrate Erie and the other situations?
Yeah. So our team is definitely going to light up North Park and South Park Row a lot. We know that
with additional lighting.
Of course. Yeah. We've been in contact with security. We've been in contact with the police. We're going to make sure that there's enough policing and security. So we want the community to feel safe. We want to bring them together. There's going to be constant surveillance. Everything's going to be monitored. And overnight throughout the entire duration of the event, there's going to be security as well. So we take our security very seriously and want to make sure everybody feels safe. So it's been an ongoing conversation with the police.
I would imagine, yeah.
Can't imagine, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where if there's overtime, it needs to happen.
Yes.
and so on to cover that. I mean, we had a situation. I don't know if it was Ja Rule or it's one of the situations where it kind of got a little lively, right? And so so just making sure that people, and it's got to be a priority for you, Mayor, right? People feel safe when they're downtown, right?
Yes, absolutely. We want them to feel safe. That's important. Yes.
I've got like 2 minutes before my break here, and let's talk about these artists, just a little bit more in depth. Again, Country Night is actually going to be Friday night, and what are some of the songs or some of the hits that they might know with Russell Dickerson there?
So we have. Oh, thank you. So we have. He's going to be actually releasing an album about a week after Celebrate Erie. So
that's great timing.
Yeah, hoping to hear a lot of those hits.
Yeah.
But we have Every Little Thing, Love You Like I Used to. If you have TikTok, you've definitely heard Happen to Me. It's a trending audio right now.
Okay.
One of his songs, Yours, is like a wedding staple. A lot of people have used it. A lot of his music is based off of his relationship with his wife and his newborn child. So
cool.
It's a lot of heartfelt lyrics. And then there's also those party anthems about, country roots and growing up and drinking beer. So it's going to be a really cool time. But
very cool.
I still listen mainly to the Beatles, so most of these I've never heard. I have to confess to
right.
that.
I can always talk about the Beatles hits if you need me to.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Self-explanatory.
and then on Saturday night again, it's talk about gym class heroes. It's kind of a what's the vibe there? Is it poppy? Is it R&B?
It's kind of hard to explain. They're kind of a mix of everything. They have pop, they have rap, they have rock, they have elements that they have kind of pulled a bunch of genres together. It's really hard to define them, but I guarantee if you have any sort of summer or road trip playlist, you know exactly their song, you know exactly what music I'm talking about. So they have like a bunch of features with other artists. So even if you don't listen to Gym Class Heroes themselves, you've definitely heard one of their songs through other bands. So
are you excited again as the events director that a couple of years back they made the pivot to going with more contemporary artists versus the Letterman, or it used to be kind of old folks home season around here.
I always think it's important to showcase like every genre. I take feedback in the community really seriously, so I want to see classics. I want to see some of the old vibes because I grew up on classic rock. I want to hear these things. I love jazz and everything, but it's also good to stay relevant and get in recent artists as well. So I think all music's good music.
For sure. And then again, Sunday night is the Erie All Stars and doing those Beatles hits.
It's gonna be incredible with the Erie Philharmonic. I already have.
Yeah,
chills.
how's that working? Like, are they like a string section, horns?
I'm not sure about the logistics yet, but all I know is as soon as Eleanor Rigby comes on, I'll probably cry. Who knows?
Right.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. All you need is love. I could just hear the horns, right?
It's so good.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Gabi. Thanks for keying in on all that, and congratulations on all the hard work, and of course Blue Cross Blue Shield and AHN St. Vincent, the main stage sponsor of Celebrate Erie. When we come back, we'll dive into some of the other things and take your phone calls. 814-679-1080. Mayor Joe Schember is with us, along with folks from the 5th floor here of City Hall. Stay with us. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State, also live on Facebook and on YouTube. We're talking with Mayor Joe Schember. It's our monthly meeting with the mayor here on this 19th of June, and excited to have also with us Kyle Hannon. He's the communications director for the city of Erie. Kyle, thank you so much. And I know what's kind of cool about your department up there is that you have the community liaisons that work with you. Talk about that initiative and how important that is to the mayor's outreach.
Oh, sure. Thanks, Joel. Yes, both Daryl Craig and Saeed Taraki are community liaisons, and both do a totally wonderful job of interacting with the communities, bringing feedback back to the mayor's office, updating the mayor about what they're hearing in the community and what the people think they need.
And there's a national conversation going on right now about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and about obviously a lot about immigration. Is that pressure bearing down on our city at all?
Certainly, I think there's always concern, but in general, I don't see that as much. Certainly there is a lot of concern in the community. Everyone acknowledges that, but and Saeed is working very diligently with the different communities,
the New Americans,
to communicate the facts of what's going on and relay them back. But in general, we've been asked this question, ever since the new administration, came into office. But we have not, been pressured, by the feds, to the mayor's administration, in that regard.
It occurs to me, Mayor, it's been 5 years since the George Floyd murder, right? And so. Again, you were around during the march. You were around during the riot on, May 30th. It's incredible when you think about it. Wow. Have things? Have we improved though? Don't you think?
I think we have improved. I think Erie's improving. We're trying to get rid of houses that are dilapidated, and we've been tearing them down. We started this year now, just a couple months ago. We're hoping to build 3 new houses in Erie, and we have had 8 people apply for that.
Yeah.
So it's good, and we've got $100,000 set aside for that to work on that, help us with it. And so we want to take some of these vacant spots and start building new houses to bring people back into Erie.
When you think about, though, the African American community that was so impacted by the George Floyd situation, don't you think that communication is better?
Absolutely.
You have Daryl Craig involved as a liaison, but also you pretty much have an open door.
Absolutely.
Do black leaders come to you from time to time?
Yes, they talk to me. They look for information from me. I really appreciate that, and I continue to try to develop those relationships with blacks here in Erie.
Yeah, I'm thinking too. There's a lot of that communication, especially back then, was with Chief Spizzarni and just kind of talking through all that, and I would imagine that's continued on, right?
Absolutely, yes. He's very good at that. Plus, we've added a lot of women and a lot of minorities to our police force,
to the force itself,
especially in the last couple of years here.
There's no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Let's pivot to another product of COVID, which was the ARP money. Is that gone now?
It's not all gone yet. We had set aside, I think it's around $5 million to be used to develop this inner city and basically areas in the city that needed development that were in bad shape because the windows are broken in this house and nothing is working in this house. And so some cases we're just tearing down houses because we can't fix them up. But in other cases we have fixed up houses and we'll continue to do that as well.
Part of that ARP money, part of that investment was for the Miller brothers, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And that is intended for Public Works, right? That
Yes.
building?
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of the public works, we're going to do it it has to be done over about the next 2 or 3 years. It won't all be done at once. But we're trying to get some people in who need to get in there because where they are isn't safe to be working. That's where they replace repair fire trucks and things like
this is
that.
a Marn, was that Marn Street or something? Is that where they're coming out of? Or?
Yeah, I think that's right. I can't think of the name of the street up there right now. But
up off of Glenwood Park Avenue?
correct, yes,
Okay.
right off Glenwood Park Avenue.
So
yes.
that building is
It's in bad shape.
It's in bad shape, huh?
And they
Wow.
were really in danger because there was somebody working up above, some people, and it was stuff they were working with was real heavy. They've moved all them out of there.
Okay.
But they still need to make things a little bit safer before they're going to be able to move into the new place, probably
Miller
sometime
Brothers.
next year.
So okay. So the timeline is we'll have some folks by next year.
We hope so. Yeah, a lot of that depends on whoever takes my place.
Do you have all the money you need to complete that project?
I think we do, at least for the first part of the project, yes.
Okay.
There may be, we have to raise money for the rest of it. There'll probably be 3 major things that have to be done up there on State Street at this new place. But the first one, I think we're fully funded in that and can move forward in it, or else we're trying to finalize that funding right now, too.
Is there room at City Hall now? I mean, do you have empty offices?
We have a few, yes. We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not looking to add to staff right now.
Right.
But we do have some room.
I mean, I don't know how that would work for security to to make it a profit center to rent some space. I have no idea, but the police is staying there, right?
Absolutely.
At
Yes.
City at
Yes.
7th and
Yeah. We are
and
going to have
Peach.
some much better places for them up on Upper State there. And
for like the SWAT, like some of the bigger trucks or whatever.
Yeah,
or?
place to store things like bigger
Yeah.
trucks, and there'll be some places where they can get together and have events together, and
That makes
And
sense.
that's all. It's all in the process, and again, we need to raise enough money to get it done.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's part of the project, and that might be one of those projects that gets handed to the new mayor.
That's right.
I mean,
Yes, in November I'll be talking to the new mayor and hopefully encouraging that person to keep this moving forward.
right.
It's very important.
What are the other things that are keeping you up at night? What are you working? You always tell me I sleep pretty good.
Right. Nothing actually keeps me up at night, except when I lost the election, I had trouble sleeping that night. But other than that, I usually sleep 8 hours, a little over or a little less, but right around 8 hours.
Good for you.
I'm usually
at least somebody's doing that.
I'm usually up at least once, sometimes twice a night to go to the bathroom, but I go right back to sleep when I get back to bed. So
Gabby would tell you that was an overshare.
was that overshare? I'm sorry.
I learn more about the mayor every single day.
That's right. I do that too much. I know.
So, but I mean, what are you working on? I mean, this cleanup thing is a big deal right now. But what are some of the other things that seem to be taking up your time?
One of the things that's really important right now, I came out of an hour and 45-minute earlier this afternoon meeting about it, and it's how are we going to get people in Erie to respect each other, work together. There seem to be a lot of those type of problems right now, and we've done a lot with our police where they bring kids in, very young, and they've been doing this since before I was mayor. Actually,
The PAL, the Police
Athletic League. That's correct. That's what this is, and they just do wonderful things. There were, when it first started, there were about 30 kids in it and 4 police officers, and now there's 150 kids in it. Wow. And we have over 100 police officers.
I mean, that's Tom Lennox's whole job,
Lennox,
right?
Absolutely. Tom is the leader of that. He does
Lennox.
just incredible work. And plus, when we need him on the street, he'll still be there as well.
Is that, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a police officer first. Wow.
That's right. Yes.
But but I mean, that's kind of the long game. But are there things that we need to? I mean, because you think about it, Mayor. Before we were doing some stuff before COVID. That was really pushing the needle. That we had the call-ins.
Yes.
We had, you were having those dinners, right? The people's dinners or whatever.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, you think about all the elements that COVID put the kibosh on.
Yeah. You made me think maybe I should have another people's dinner.
Why
we
not?
haven't done that in years.
Well,
now.
I mean, again, if the thing that's bubbling up is a lack of communication and respect, how do you regain that?
Yes, yeah, and there's some of that definitely. I think we've done a lot to get other people respecting.
Yeah,
especially police. Some of the police who the kids that went through this program 8-10 years ago are now getting almost to the age where they could join the police force. And the police have told me there's been people like that have told them they want to be in the police force when they reach that age. So we'll see how it works.
What are you hearing from the fire department? Because I'm going to throw something out.
Okay.
And you don't have to respond, but I keep on hearing that our fire department's too big. Now, that's a hugely controversial statement.
Yes.
But that we have more firefighters than other larger cities. Have you heard that thrown at you?
I have not heard that. I don't know who's saying it or where it's coming from. But our firefighters, I think they're doing great work. They're doing incredible work.
There's no doubt about that. The question is whether or not we can afford the department that we have.
And we've greatly reduced the size of our. We have a lot of firehouses that are now closed.
I was going to say we totally dropped a total battalion, right, or whatever they call that, platoon or something like that.
Yes.
Over the years,
Yeah. And there was one at 19th and Liberty, right on the on the southeast corner
of 18th.
It's now it's no longer. When I was a kid, I remember it being.
It's a church now.
It's a church. That's correct. You're right.
I know that place.
Yes. Yeah, and there's many like that around.
Well,
town.
yeah. I mean, do you remember the one on 26th and Peach?
Yes.
They had the corner.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's a million years ago.
That is.
I mean,
yes.
But yeah, the fire truck would come right out onto 26 and Peach, right in the corner there.
Boy.
That's, of course, the parking lot for Northwest Bank.
Yes.
So you have not heard this kind of pushback on?
I have not received
on the whole size of what it's going to take to really right size the local government.
Yeah. No, not on the fire department or local government generally. I have not. Yes.
One last question, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
Leave you in peace, right? and that is regional cooperation. And I just want to get your thoughts on this. It occurs to me that as Erie goes, so does the rest of the county. The county people I talk to believe that they're not so parochial or so in their silo that they don't care what happens in the city. They do care what happens in the city.
Wow.
The city should care about what happens in the townships, and
Absolutely.
I think they do.
Yes, you're right.
What's your approach to regional cooperation like that, or county-wide cooperation like that, and where do you think we could build on communication that way?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to improve that. I totally
Are you
agree with
still
that.
having lunches every once in a while with the county executive?
Our current county executive, when he took off, when he was elected, before he was sworn in, and I took him to lunch at the Erie Club and told him, I'd like to do this with you once a month or so. I did that with the previous.
With Kathy, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to say we've never had lunch since then together.
Oh, geez.
And we've talked a little bit, but the communication isn't as good as I'd like it to be honest. But
so that's with the county executive. How about with Mill Creek supervisors or Harbor Creek or Summit and stuff?
We have had some interactions, but not nearly as much as I should be having, I'd have to say.
Are they reaching out to you? I mean, it's a two-way street here.
Yeah. No, I don't get a lot of reach outs. I haven't done a lot of reach outs either, to be honest.
I mean, you see where that's concerning to a guy like me sitting in my chair of saying the metropolitan area is all of Erie County.
Yes.
When we talk about an economic engine, if we're not all kind of moving, if our gears are not all moving in the right direction, we will have a jam.
You're absolutely
and we're not
right.
going to grow. I mean, you have goals. 10,000 new people in the city of Erie. I memorize these goals.
That's
right?
good. Yes, you did.
But I mean, but as the city goes the county, and goes the metropolitan area. When a site selector or even a local growing company looks at us, they don't look at Pittsburgh Avenue being one or the other, or Grandview or Bird Drive, right?
Yes.
They look at the entire community.
Absolutely. I think most people think about Erie County more than Erie City. What's it like in Erie County?
So you think we could work on that?
Absolutely. I think that can be worked
I mean,
on.
that could be a banner that you wave, huh?
I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right.
I'll do all I can. Thanks.
This was as fun as a root canal, wasn't it?
Almost.
You're the best. I appreciate it very,
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Mayor Joe Schember, Gabi Watson, and Kyle Hannon. Thank you guys so much for being on with us here. It is 10 minutes in front of 5 o'clock.